Bhavani. All the names are given for, by Naradji is giving telling. Tabalachana Sampanna Kumari. She is the very storehouse of all great qualities. Then our Himavan said, but you only told all good things, you know. In life, we saw this on previous nights. The nature of the sansar, the jagat is structured in such a way that it is made up in every atom of positive and negative. You cannot just have positives alone, cannot run the world. There must be the other side as well. The bicycle cannot run with one pedal. You can try. Or a bird fly with one wing. It doesn't happen. So now, Himavan told, you told all good things about this Bhavani, you know, Uma. Now you tell some. Saila sulachana suta tumhari sunahu je avaguna dui chari. You have to tell some of the negative things also. Aguna aman matu pitu hina udasi na sabasamsaya china. Now, what? Actually, this is part of the whole tradition also. The whole tradition. When a girl child is born, quickly they start, that goes on today also. I wonder what type of husband she will get. Correct or not? When boy is born, they don't say, I wonder what type of wife he'll get. But when a girl is born, they say, I wonder what type of husband she'll get. So Narad starts like that only to tell. Well, sorry to tell you all, but her husband, that fellow will be homeless, clothesless, moneyless, everything less. Narad Ji is referring to, actually he's telling her birth at that time and all that is such that she will have a husband who will be like that. What is that? Homeless, moneyless, penniless, this, that, everything. In number 67, he describes. Jogi jatla kam mana गगन अमंगल वेशो राम नगन अमंगल वेश अस स्वामी एहि कह मिलिहि परिहस्त सिरेक सिया वर रामचंद्र की जय शरणम उमापति पवन सुत हनुमान की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय सियावर रामचंद्र की जय शरणम. She will get a husband who is jogi. Jogi means he has no likes or no fancy for worldly life. So if she wants a new car, he say, what new car, you know? She wants new clothes, jogi. He'll be like that. Jatil. Jatil means he will tie up his hair in a jata. She'll have a husband like that. Akam, no desires. He wants nothing. Akam mana. Nagan. No clothes also. She husband will have no clothes. Amangala vesh. And if he does wear anything, it will be so despicable. He wears snakes, for instance. He wears snake. And he wears ashes from the smashan ghat. From the cremation site. Asa Swami ehi kaha milihi. Parihasta asirek. This is what is written here. Narada is actually reading her hand. Written on the hand. Now, the mother and the king, they got really sad, miserable. But my daughter will get married to a beggar? Narada told a very nice thing. This is now just before 69. Few lines before 69. See that. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram
Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama
Shri Ram Jai जय जय बर के दोष बखाने
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama
ते सब शिव पही मैं अनुमाने
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama
जो विवाह शंकर सन होई
Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama
दोष गुण सम कह सब कोई
Shri Ram Jai Rama
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री जय जय राम. Narad said all this jati, jogi, jatil, nagan, no clothes, naked, he will be wearing ashes, or what all, amangala vesh, whatever all things. Her husband will be. I'm telling, there is one way out of this. Lord Shiva matches this description. So if this Uma, Parvati, marries this Lord Shiva, all of these amangal things, this is a very wonderful truism. You have to think about this. Usually we don't think about these things in life, but see, what is actually happening, the dynamics of what is happening here has to be understood. All of the things which we consider to be what? He is penniless, homeless, clothesless, nothing he has. Amangal, everything. But because it is Lord Shiva, all of what we consider to be amangal, inauspicious, all of it turns out to be auspicious. And this is a truism about the universe. Please pay attention to this. A thing gets value, or has value, not inherently. In this world, a thing doesn't have inherent value. Value is superimposed on the thing. This is what is happening behind the scenes here. So, the ashes come from the cremation site. That is the ashes he wears, Lord Shiva. Right? So, who wants ashes from the cremation site? Nobody wants that, to put on their body. But that same ashes, if it comes and it is on the body of Lord Shiva now, quickly somebody will take and because the value of the thing was now added by the greatness of Lord Shiva. See, if you go to buy an old car, you offer the man $1,000, I want to buy this car, old car. Right? But then the man tells, what? This old car? This car, you only want to pay $1,000? No. You can't. This car was once owned by Sir Solomon Hochoy. Oh. But the same car that you could buy from your neighbor for $1,000, your neighbor one might be better. But because it came into contact with Sir Solomon Hochoy, well, now the car that really worth $1,000, now will be worth many more $1,000, isn't it? That contact with that personality superimposed on the object added value which was not there. And this is the rule about the world in which we live. Actually, it is human beings who add value to things. Things don't have any inherent value. This is the basic rule. And the greater the human being, the greater value is added to that thing. That is the idea. So now, Narada is telling all these things which you consider to be inauspicious. Lord Shiva has all of these things. And if she marries Lord Shiva, everything will be fine. And now Naradaji tells, my dear Uma, you go and you do tapas. Asakahi Narad Sumiri Hari Girijahi Deenhi Asis Hoihi Yah Kalyan Abba Samsaya Tajahu Giris. Because the wife and the husband, Himavan and his wife, they became really not upset, really worried about poor daughter. But who she will marry? Narad suggested this thing and he left. And now Uma, little girl, little Uma, she went to do tapas. And through that tapas, asked for a boon to marry Lord Shiva. Now this is this is just before number 63. We'll have time only to do 1 or 2 verses. We'll pick it up again tomorrow. Now see. Before 73, sorry, not 60. See. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Sab gaiye. Shri Ram Jai Ram
Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Karhi jai tapu Kaila Kumari.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Narad kaha so Satya Vichari.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Matu pita hi puni yah mat bhava.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Tapu sukh prada dukh dosh nasava.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Tap pal rachai prapanchu vidhata. Shri Ram Jai Ram.
Jai Jai Ram.
Tap bal Vishnu sakal jagatrata.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Satapastaptva. The Upanishad tells. The Supreme Reality did tapas. Idagam sarvam asrijat, he says. And from him ensued this entire universe because of his tapas. This actually portion comes from Upanishad. Tulsidas Ji was a great scholar of Upanishad, Gita, everything. Here, pen and his wife, they are telling, Karai jai tapukai Saila Kumari, Narad kaha so satya vichari. What Narad says, that you have to do tapas and marry this Lord Shiva. That is the correct thing. You go and do tapas. They are telling to their daughter. Matu pitahi puniyaha mata bhava tapu sukha prada dukha doshana sava. Tap. And the operative word here is tap. Tapas. Now I'll introduce this word today. Our time has run out. We cannot do justice to this thing until tomorrow. But let me tell you this word. Tap, dhatu in Sanskrit means to burn. This is the literal meaning of the root, the Sanskrit root. Tap means to burn. Tapati, he burns, like that. So, tapas always involves some burning. Burning means what? Going through hardship. You can't go and do tapas in an air-conditioned room. You have to go through some hardship. It means something which we do not like and something which is uncomfortable and which takes away my comfort and all of that. I have to go through that. That is called as tapas. If I am very comfortable and all that kind of thing, then it is not tapas. That is why when students leave and go to an ashram to study, all the rules change. All the rules that you had at home, all those rules change. So many things you cannot do. Like for example, in our Vedanta course, see, first class 5:30 a.m. Every single day, no holidays. People like holidays. No holidays. No Saturday, Sunday, Monday, nothing. Every day. Then second thing, last class ends 8 o'clock in the night. No, which school is start 5:30 in the morning and end 8 in the night? It's all part of the tapas built into the thing, you see. The hardship must be there. I told you previously, in Sukha, there is no evolution. In the environment, you ask the biologists also, they'll tell. In the environment, only when there are stresses and tensions in the environment, then the organism metamorphosizes and evolves. If everything is going smoothly in that environment, that organism will remain the same forever. He has to meet tensions in the environment. Well, in the very same way, for spiritual evolution, tapas is required, but here it is self-imposed. We don't wait for the nature. Nature will do, it will take a long time, and it will do, and there's surely going to be evolution. But tapas is a self-imposed discipline where we deny ourselves certain things for speedy evolution. That is the idea, spiritual evolution. So now, several verses on tapas here, which comes from the Upanishads. We will pick up this tomorrow. Now, Bhavani, little Bhavani, she is going to do tapas to get Lord Shiva as her husband. Now, this is insofar as these verses are concerned. And let me tell you two Purayan. I told you about Purayan last night. In the lilies that you see in the pond, there are flowers here, leaves here, and so many things you see on that. But below the water, below the surface of the water, underneath, all these roots are connected to each other. Like that. In this Ramcharitamanas, here, Sati is Bhavani. In the beginning I told you, she is Shraddha, the very embodiment of Shraddha, faith. And that faith is shrouded, is hidden inside. So this is then beginning. Bhavani Shankarao Vande Shraddha Vishwasa Rupino in beginning of Ramayana. She's called as Shraddha. But then when Ram Katha is told to her, she has no Shraddha. She displays no Shraddha. Tulsidaji says about all of us, my nature is Satchitananda. But we don't display Satchitananda. So evolution has to take place, and I have to come to get more in touch with my own true nature. So she's playing the role of the jiva here. This is what we have to do to get in touch with our true nature, which is Satchitananda. And this is demonstrated here in the beginning of Ramayana, and this same thing is demonstrated in the end of Ramayana. So this is two places, beginning and end, it is being demonstrated. In the end, it will be the journey of Kakabhushundi and all the trials and tribulations and all the troubles that he had to go through, and the same absence of faith and all of that. The same thing in Uttarakhand. So Ramayana is also bracketed with these two stories, where the jiva has the absence of faith. Faith means what? The faith in the absolute, in a higher principle, in something in this universe which is beyond us. Something in this universe which is responsible for the manifestation of the universe. Faith in that thing. Or even thinking about that thing. Considering that thing. Most people don't. We just walk about our daily lives with, quite oblivious of anything higher. This is the jiva. And this is why the jiva never actualizes his true nature, realizes his true nature. So here is Sati story, and there the Kakabhushundi story, beginning and end of Ramayana. Because this is really telling about how the jiva is. He doesn't have faith in God and all of these things. Anyway, we will pick up this. No, my time has ended for today. We'll pick up this tomorrow at the ashram. Tomorrow at the ashram. Okay, in Kuva. Now let me say a very special thank you to Vedji and all the members of this temple. We were here in 2016. He gave me a picture just now. It took me back to 2016 when we were doing Bhagavad Gita. And I was here also recently just now for some wedding. Somebody, not my wedding, some other wedding. Somebody was getting married here, Sharda, and I had come for that ceremony just a few weeks ago. All right. So, thank you very much for having us. And we are very delighted that we could actually come in this area also and share the Ramayana. Of course, because of Hans Ji and his radio station. People, I told you, now Marcia might be listening in Brazil. People all over the world are listening. So, thank you to everybody who has contributed in some way to make it all happen. Okay. We will have the vote of thanks before the Aarti, or we'll have... Let's have after the Aarti. Huh? Okay. Please have a look at our bookstall at the back. The Prasad today, every night we are giving a Prasad. This is the whole Ramayana which we did in 2017. Whole Ramayana, every line. Here we cannot do every line in 108 days, but this was almost 2 years. So the whole thing is here. We are giving this as a token, Prasad, to all the various temples where we are going. So I'd like to call on Ms. Nadia Mahabir to receive this on behalf of the temple. And then we will have Aarti. A special thank you to Avinash Kisun from the Hindu Students Council for having chanted for us today. Please accept this little token from all of us at the ashram. It's a flash drive with the whole Ramayana explained. Okay. आरती के लिए सब खड़े हो जाइए, बाद में देखेंगे. आरती श्री रामायण जी की. कीरतिकलितललितसियपि गावत ब्रह्मादिक मुनि नारद वाल्मीकि ज्ञान विषादद सुख सनकादिशेष अरु सारद बरनी पवन सुत कीरति गावत वेद पुराण अष्टदश छौ शास्त्र सब ग्रंथन को रस मुनि जन धन संतन को सर्वस सार अंश सम्मत सब ही आवत संतत शंभु भवानी अरुघत संभव मुनि विज्ञानी व्यास आदि कवि पर जब खानी काग भुषुंडी गरुड़ कलिमल हरनि विषय रस फीकी सुभग सिंगार मुक्ति जुबती की चलन रोग भव मूरी जमी की तात मात सब विधि तुलसी की श्री राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय
श्री राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम
श्री राम जय जय राम जय रघुराम जय सीताराम श्री राम जय जय राम जय रघुराम जय रघुराम जय सीताराम जय श्री राम जय श्री राम मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुड़ध्वजः मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्षं मंगलायतनो हरिः त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति Shantihi. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Bolo Siyavara Ramachandra ki jai, Pavan Sutta Hanuman ki jai, Bolo bhai sab santan ki jai, Shri Satya Sanatan Dharma ki jai, Namah Parvati Pataye, Har Har Mahadev. Hari Om Tat Sat. Please also. Now Vedji will do the honors for us.
Namaskar, Sitaram, again to each and every one of you. Swamiji, it gives us a great pleasure to welcome you in Chinmaya Mission, Trinidad and Tobago, on your mammoth 108 nights of Ramayan Katha. Again, it is a very simple duty I have this evening, which is to say thank you for all of you who have considered this mandir, considered this village, considered this particular ashram as one of the 108 nights in your pilgrimage throughout this country. And definitely it is with the mind of spreading dharma. And coincidentally, however you want to look at it, today we also share the birth anniversary of the late Shree Harrinarine Persad ji, my father, who would have celebrated his 71st birthday today. So to each and every one of you who would have made this day a spectacular one, I use the word spectacular because that was one of his favorite words in his vocabulary. Building this ashram was the purpose with the purpose in mind of what you're doing today is exactly why it was built. Open to each and every one who would want to come to share and learn and to be able to experience in the bliss of that great heritage handed down to us by our forefathers. And it gives me a great pleasure, a great honor to live his life's legacy even after he has gone. Because what you see before you is what he has left for us to continue. It was a dream. That simple flying murti in the car park outside of Hanumanji was a dream that he had. The 40-foot Shivaji outside as well was also his heart's desire to see this truth. And in his living life, while the soul was in the human body, he was able to be around. And just as we were greeting Swamiji while he was entering, I said, Swamiji, you were supposed to have been here at the consecration exactly 1 year ago. He said, what he told me just before coming through those doors is that this is how it was supposed to be. And that is exactly how life, how Bhagavan has intended our souls. For those of you who are here, even with the restrictions of the COVID-19 and the pandemic, you were chosen to be here by the ultimate and primordial master. And you were guided to be here for that purpose. So that's why I share this happiness this evening on behalf of his lineage, which, most people don't understand that the name of the mandir is called the Ramjit and Basu Persad Hindu Temple. Ramjit and Basu is the name of my father's mother and father. So to memorialize their lives and what they did for him, this mandir was named. And he gave the mandir the name that it has today. Because of our forefathers, because of what they instilled into us. So it is a very simple duty. I don't want to keep you back very much longer, but it is to thank each and every one of you for being here. Shrishti ji, who has joined us for live feed this evening, Sankhya Television 101.7, as well as those of you who are joining regionally, locally, as well as internationally. We reach out to you and may the divine light reach you from the very lips of Swamiji. And permit me one joke. Swamiji is very much versed in making anyone laugh at any time. And I see all the brahmacharis and everybody who is associated with Swamiji automatically laugh. I saw the smile through the masks. And here is my joke for this evening. When we were about to start, I sat on the floor and my little nephew came and he sat right beside me on the floor. And he came towards me and he said, "What time is it going to finish?" I said, "Well, it didn't even start yet." He said, "Okay." So he got on the phone and I'm looking at him. So okay, I just left him there to be. So every time Swamiji would have mentioned these words of Ramayan Katha a couple of times, and he asked and posed the question to us all here. He said, who would want to marry such a being who has the ashes from the cremation site on their skin? And the little boy answered, he said, not me. so I looked across at him and I'm thinking to myself, well, he really is paying attention.
Yeah.
He really is listening. Now, he's 8-year-old. I don't know what the plan is for afterwards, but before the prayer starts, he's like, what time is it finishing? So in my mind, I was like, little boy, Chanchal, he was the eyeball of my grandfather, and every single where that my dad would have gone, prayers or otherwise, or any activity, work, he would always be with him from birth. So he shares a special, very, very special connection with him. So a little way through again, Swamiji posed the question, and he also answers. He said, well, just before, he looks at his mother when Swamiji says, I wonder what kind of husband you will get, thinking about the girl. And he watching his mom, and he watching his dad. So now, I am sitting next to him, and I am seeing his mind is all over. And intermittently, he picking up the phone. I realize he's not playing a game, right? Because all he's using, he took the phone and he took a picture of his grandfather and he set it at the screen, as the screen wallpaper. And he keep on showing it to me. I was like, okay, yes, that is Nana. Only afterwards I realized he keep on showing me the time. He said, but Swamiji is supposed to finish 8 o'clock. I said, okay, pay attention and we'll get food just now because I realize he's getting hungry. But the point is, dear devotees, even in the purest state of mind of the child, despite all the distractions, despite all the thoughts that is going on in his mind, he is paying attention to every single word Swamiji is saying. Now, I am now older. I wouldn't say my age, but I am aged at the physical body. And I'm thinking to myself, as I grow older, I hope that I have the intellect of this little child. Because to me, I could bet anything that he have no idea what Swamiji is saying. But the point is that from my understanding, sitting right next to him, is that he understood and he was listening to every single word. Now, it makes me feel proud in a sense because, yes, he's my nephew. But the reason why I'm mentioning it now is because it is such a powerful thing to be able to understand what is going on subconsciously in the child's mind. So, maybe I'm just saying, I hope I could continue to be like that or be more like that. Swamiji also says in the past, and my Guruji also, Swami, I'm not going to say Swami Abhidanand, right? Pandit Abhidanandji, he says, be childlike. To have the innocence and the purity. So, in a simple message on behalf of my family, again, it is a very simple duty to welcome you all here with a humble heart. We hope that you would have enjoyed the words coming out of the lips of Swamiji, so melodious and so being able to communicate to any individual, even a little 8-year-old, because it's not very many people can do that. If you can captivate the mind of an 8-year-old and keep him listening, you are something special. And that you are, Swamiji. So continue on these balance of nights, of these 108 nights, as you know. Continue to be safe and follow the guidelines and the protocols. We have meals prepared, very light meals prepared for you as you are leaving. At the back, it is already pre-boxed, so you can take your boxes as you're leaving, as you're exiting the door, because we're trying to mitigate against gathering and eating together with your masks off. So please abide, and I know as we are together and we want to interact and be near and close to each other, please, just before our satsang started, I saw that we are now, today, we had 1,200 and something plus cases. So be mindful, not only tonight, but anywhere you go, that this virus is real. And transmission is even more real now than before. So take every step that you possibly can do to protect your lives and those around you. So on behalf of the Mandir, on behalf of my family, my mother Prabhavati, who is joining us via live stream from Canada, and my two brothers who are also in Canada. We wish you a happy and safe journey back home as you would take the words of Swamiji with you. And also the members of this mandir, thanks you for coming here and sharing, and everybody who would have contributed in such a way to be able to entertain you and to house you in such a safe manner this evening, because it really was I don't want to say it was a difficult thing, but it's a very important physical thing, and I don't want to use the word chemical, right? But the thing is, so many chemicals involved in cleaning and sanitizing before, in preparation, during, and you will see that while you're leaving, and then afterwards. So the science of our scripture is keeping us safe and alive. So let's continue to oblige by the protocols. As well as, Swamiji, you know, the mandir here is open at any time. So anytime you wish, you and your members, for any purpose or any event that you would like to host, because of the words that I am saying that I heard my father and his instruction to me, it is open to anyone and everyone across our land to be able to share in Dharma. So I thank you very much again, and I ask you to please join with us with a meal of sharing the prasad, etc. before you leave. Hari Om. Jai Sri Ram.
Jai Sri Ram. Thank you.